Maybe men take it as another mean. So, his pride got hurt and he just slammed your door and walked out of your room. The next morning, this happened. He didn't ask the reason and you didn't explain it. That's it. Each one make own theory and hurt oneself. You wiped your eyes again. This is my business with him. Even though he held wedding with you and got marriage certificate and was serious about his marriage. But when girls say no, then why he should get angry on it? He treated so well and you were happy that you are able to marry such a guy that you are also angry about this. That night, Jungkook didn't come back. You couldn't fall asleep and decided to review your books. Looking at books, you didn't expect that you would get married and had to drop the study, even though he said to continue studying. If you didn't want to study in the country, then he would send you to abroad, but you just don't want it now. You are thinking maybe soon you will give him your decision and you will join overseas school to complete your graduation. You started to read one line, then your mind started to wonder about how he pulled you so close, intensely and gently, holding you in his arms, letting you sit on his lap. You dumped your head on the table. What am I thinking? You should study. You gritted your teeth. That man, what's the big deal to get angry about it? If he is unsatisfied and don't want to come back to villa, then let it be. You could actually enjoy your time with food, drinks, and network here without worry in a luxurious villa. You felt wrong missing him. Next day, you took out several packets of snacks and sat on the sofa watching Korean soap opera and began to eat. Madam, why are you eating so much junk food? Maid came, whitening her eyes. I am going to get fat. You keep stuffing chips. If I became a fat, you won't touch me and I don't have to give birth to a baby. You paused and felt this idea is better. That's right. You quickly ran to kitchen and take out ice cream and yogurt, eating so furiously. Mr. Bang was shocked when he saw a pile of food in front of you. Madam, what are you doing? He asked. Seriously, you ignored him and continued to eat. The maid replied, she said she's going to increase her weight. Mr. Bang was speechless. What on earth happened to you now? Madam, you shouldn't make fuss with master. You blinked your eyes. What did you do wrong now? Remembering what had happened day before, yesterday you sniffled. These are another thing, you said. Madam, I have to confess to you that outside rumor said that master is gay. And the reason why master didn't explain it to Joan family is that old Master John had arranged a fiancée. But since with his rumor being gay he didn't say anything, when he married you and it's still hidden to the world. Because his fiancée was abroad currently and they never saw each other before. Then it must be that engagement was postponed or it didn't got response from other party. Now, the master not being gay was reported to the Joan family, and it is uncertain that Joan family will oppose the marriage between you two. Hearing Mr. Bang saying in person, you suddenly feel bad and eyes became slightly wet. His fiancée must be noble women. Maybe one day they would come to separate you both. He immediately rushed to the hospital when he heard news. Which one? He asked to his housekeeper. His little one was so troublesome. This way, master. Mr. Bang led the way. Entering the ward, first thing he did was grab your clothes, warning coldly. Kim Wine, listen up. Even if you became a fat woman, I will sleep with you. Eating a lot of junk food and cold drinks with ice cream and yogurt, your stomach ached and get into food poisoning. Hearing sudden rage of man, You were so scared, but more embarrassed, and looked at him in disbelief before pointing your finger behind him awkwardly. The back. Nurse was checking some medicine and telling you to eat, but sudden man's attack was unbelievable. And the words he said, nurse blushed in embarrassment. You cuffed and patted his hand away that was gripping your clothes. He is so aggressive, gripping your clothes so intensely. Jungkook straightened his back and let you go and calmly glanced at behind. How's fine? Nurse was obviously surprised to see president of multinational companies. Mr. June, you can rest assured. Miss Fine just ate too much. She will be okay and can go home after observation. Okay, thank you, he said, and nurse nodded before heading out of ward. After medical staff left, he looked around. Go ahead with what you want to say. You turned your face away from him. He looked at his stubborn wife. You can tell me first what you want to do. Mr. Bang told me that you wanted to put some weight in order to prevent me from touching you. You looked embarrassed. Mr. Bang said this. He's so talkative. Jungkook looked at his wife sitting on the bed with hospital scorn by his safe gaze. He couldn't wait to take you back immediately so that you could see whether it worked by being fed. He remembered last time your rejection to sleep with him, he didn't ask for more, but this doesn't mean that you could always think of new trouble for him. Wine, what were you thinking actually? Nothing. You lowered your head. Actually, you were thinking about his fiancée. Jungkook actually felt a little sorry for you and calmed down. Then lie down and rest. He looked at the time on the wristwatch. I will come to pick you up after work. Don't create any trouble for me. What do you mean? You raised your head. You were outside that night. I can do whatever I want. I didn't ask you to come back. Jungkook sneered internally. I can say whatever I want. What's more, how can I give up the only chance in a month for us to get along with each other? Wine, am I right? You are dumbfounded. When did he ever try to get along with you? Didn't he just want to accompany your body? Okay, stay obediently. Mr. Bang will bring you some light lunch. Eat it and wait for me. See ya. He rubbed your head and walked out. You watched his back. Man stopped at the door and gave a side look. By the way, you can continue if you want to eat more, for it will better to touch you. If you put some weight. His lips curled up and left the ward. Your cheeks became hot. He will sleep even if you became fat. You lie down, covering your head with pillow. Such a horrible man. Reporter, hand me your hair. You blinked your eyes. Chungha put flowers on the table. How you got admitted at hospital? I heard you ate too much. Are you sure you don't have a tunnel in your stomach? Your eyes widened. Tunnel in my stomach? Are you blaming me? She laughed and sat on the edge of bed. I'm saying that you have a good life after marriage. It was because you have a delicious foods every day that you couldn't control yourself and eat overall then got admitted. Can you invite me to eat some so that I can share it and you will not be poisoned by our food? No, you quickly waved your hands. You are exaggerating. I just eat too much junk food. I want to put some weight. Put some weight? She scanned you. Wow, you really did. You have at least put on a cup of meat after getting married. What? You quickly crossed your hands on your heart. What are you looking at? Checking. Where did you put weights? Your cheeks are a little puffy now. You're really doing fine after marriage. It seems your husband didn't treat you badly in this aspect. Of course. You puffed up your cheeks, blushing. He let me eat well after all. I can see that it's not only food he offered to you, right? Well, did he come to see you since you got in here? Chungha crossed her arms looking around. He did, but went back. He went back. Didn't he stay and take care of you? She narrowed her eyes. He has something to do. Oh, she nodded understanding. He must went to do work. A company like Hive Enterprise won't hire an irresponsible person, but at least he should ask for leave. Ryan, sometimes you have to ask him to be off from work and be with you. Ask him which is more important for him, work or you. She patted your thigh. There is no need. I'm all okay. He doesn't need to ask for leave. After all, he's the boss himself. If he wants, he can get it without anyone's permission. Chungha discussed this issue nearly an hour. She seems that you had married high-level elites and thought that day handsome man came to pick you up at the entrance of Kim Mansion. Park Jimin, she didn't mention any name and you didn't tell her, so she was within her illusion. Hey, I have something to tell you. You call your husband at the end of the day. What's wrong? He asked in a low voice. You don't have to pick me up. My friend came and she will accompany me to discharge procedure, and later I will take taxi back to villa. There is no need. I'm coming now. Stay still. What? Your eyes widened. You are coming now. Have you finished your work? Man hummed from at the side. Just wait for me. There are only few people who can picked by me, so be obedient. He sat overbearingly and hung up the phone. Hey, wait a minute. No more sound could be heard. Your mind went blank and stared at the mobile screen. Chungha seems to hear interesting news. Is your husband coming over? You were doomed and nodded with a stern expression. If Jungkook come here, then Chungha will recognize him, and you can't hide this relationship anymore. Oh, she became excited. Let your husband pick you up then. It's his responsibility. Besides, you don't need to worry. I already know him though. She winked. You have a handsome husband. Just thinking that Jungkook was coming over, you went to the bathroom several times, feeling uneasy. Chungha peeled some fruits and ate while you run here and there. At the same hospital, no, you don't have to come if you are busy. I don't want to disturb you during your work, she said gently. What are you talking about? Your health is more important. I have already arrived at the entrance of hospital. Heeseung hung up the call. Women smiled. This woman is beautiful and gentle that can capture any man's heart. Anyone can be loose when it comes to admiration from men. The more beautiful it looked, the more dark and cunning heart it had. Jiwon is beautiful and considerate indeed. What's more, she knew when to show weakness in front of men. Unji, you're really amazing. Thayul clapped her hands laughing. Jiwon smirked and think how conversely stubborn was his stepsister. His son belongs to me since beginning. No one ever can snatch him from me. Oh my god, why your husband is coming. I saw him, he's coming. Chungha shouted when you were in the bathroom panicking. What? You were scared out of words? How he comes so fast? You forgets your fingers. Chungha knocked the bathroom. Fast come out, he came with his boss John Jungkook. Oh my gosh. He came with his boss John Jungkook. You scrunched your nose. Something sounded wrong with her words. You slowly opened the door. Chanmi, who are you referring to? Who else can I refer to? She nudged you with her elbow. Isn't he general manager of Hive Enterprise? Come on, don't be shy. I already catch you. And you almost fainted there. Two men walked side by side and saw you standing there with slightly twitched expression while your friend was beside you smiling. Have you changed your clothes? Jungkook glanced at you and showed discharge procedure. Let's go. Jimin nodded, smiling to you, and you did the same. Then he kindly picked up the file and your bag. Chungha was so excited seeing you both's little actions. It seems cute in her eyes. Then she come closer to gossip. See, I didn't expect that your husband's boss was so kind to come and visit his subordinates' family in person. Unlike how she heard that Jungkook is ruthless and decisive person, it was not easy to get along. You could only smile stiffly. What can you do to hide this marriage with him? You are doing favor to him, and thank God Jimin is here. He's so kind. How are you gonna say that your husband is Jungkook, not a Jimin? Walking behind them, there was a lot of noise in the hospital's lobby, and a group of people dumped into each other. Other side, Heeseung, Yeowon, and Thyul. This side, Jungkook, Jimin, Wine, and Chungha. Looking at each with hostilities, Heeseung looked at you with sinister smile, plaster on his face. Seeing you with hypes people, recalling the betrayal of boyfriend and half-sisters, you still felt unease. Heeseung must be protect Yeowon in any aspect. You were kicked out of Kim family and lost your reputation and fame and scolded by thousands of people. Fortunately, during that period of time, Jungkook married you and then you became busy dealing with your husband's matter that you didn't get much time to be sad. You smiled, glancing at Dhayal and others. There was no need to pretend to be naive at all. Oh, President John is here too. I don't know why President John appeared in the hospital suddenly. Hee-sang glanced behind. You don't have to poke your nose into my business. Mr. Lee, Jungkook's lips slightly lifted. He always kept such a high profile in front of these people. Hope Mr. Lee won't offend me for no reason and ask people to keep an eye on my villa. Shouldn't you give me an explanation? Two well-known men in the business world has an invisible hostility between. Especially for Jungkook. This man was the ex-boyfriend of his wife's. So it's normal for him to be hostile towards rivals. Hee-sang revealed an evil smile. A few days ago, it seemed Itaewon was targeted by some enemies. And after all, Wine is my ex-girlfriend and has made some unpleasant things. She's also my acquaintance as a future brother-in-law. I should at least make sure of her safety. His black jade-like eyes swept over her gloomy face. He looked at him with disdain. Oh, is that so? There was a hint of coldness in Jungkook's eyes that couldn't be ignored, but he was dignified without being angry. Then, Mr. Lee, thanks for your concern. The one who decided to offend me will not have good ending, and Wine doesn't need you to guarantee her safety. Let's go. Jungkook gave a side glance telling you all followed. President John is so considerate to come and visit his subordinate in person. Hee-sang mocked behind. Jungkook stopped. Yes, is there any problem with it? And Jungkook left with his companions. Hee-sang clenched his hand so tightly that it made cracking sounds. This man, John Jungkook. Scene was intense. John Jungkook is so domineering. Did you hear that? How Hee-sang stopped his mouth in front of him. He really helped you in front of Hee-sang. He just skillfully deflected the opponent. Really? You smiled awkwardly. Wow, your husband's boss is really kind in person. Outside people really be making hard reflection on kind men's. Are you perhaps working in the Hive Enterprise? You didn't know how to answer. I'm also kind of working. It's so awkward to hide. It's not a lie that you also have a position in the Hive Enterprise as a president's wife. In front of car, Jungkook puts all your belongings in the car and turn back to see you are walking slowly with your friend. He strode over and grabbed your arm. What are you dawdling about? It hurts. Let go of me. You cried out in pain. Chungha watched. Jimin bid goodbye and got into car before drove away while Jungkook did something to you. Her eyes was wide open. She couldn't process what was happening. First she thought that as a rumor Jungkook was gay and he might not care about trifles. But something catch her attention. She saw a pair of rings on Jungkook's finger. It's a couple ring, perfectly matching with yours. She was stunned for a moment and it all explained it without a word. Miss, I'm sorry to trouble you, and thank you for coming to the hospital to accompany Wine. She was stunned that she didn't even blink her eyes. Oh no, no, it doesn't matter. Okay then, Wine, get in the car. Jungkook opened the car door for you, you know it, and mouthed bye to Chungha. Jungkook turned around and take out pen and check to sign. This is honor. I will take her back first. And car drove away, leaving her in shock. It takes few minutes for her to come back to her sense and see the check handed by Jungkook, and a smirk slowly appeared on her lips. Girl, so you are married to John Jungkook? Are not you so good? It's time for me to call you Mrs. John.